views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation or Stewart Title. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Napick, hosting the show. And as always, we are brought to you by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, where you can get home, auto, all kinds of insurance, including broker, E&O. And if you're listening here in Houston, Texas, the Woodlands, Montana, Dana Point, California, wherever, we think you're going to enjoy the show because we always have interesting people and information that you're going to enjoy, and today is no different. Our first guest, he is known far and wide in Houston and beyond, the name Sakowitz. His name is Robert Sakowitz. Robert, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be back, Bill.
And as always, good to see you. Let's tell people know the name Sakowitz everywhere. Certainly, it's such a big part of Houston history, and it's also a great part of the present 2017 right now. Let's tell people what you're doing.
Well, I started a consulting company about 26 years ago, actually, when the Sakowitz stores, fashion stores, were closed by $8 oil, shall we call it, back then.
Wow.
The first of the bad crunches. The name of the company is Hazak. It's actually, you can find it on Hazak.com, Hazak.com. And it's a business strategies and marketing consulting company. I basically help companies get to where they want to get to. Kind of refer to myself as a both curative and preventative business doctor.
In a way, it sounds like you're in the transportation business, getting people to where they want to go.
Well, actually, I get involved with the transportation business as well. One of my clients is a company that does scenario-based planning modeling did all of the Panama Canal Authority, all of the modeling they needed to be able to get the financing for their $5.5 billion expansion that just opened a year ago, for the tripling of the size of the vessels that can go in through the Panama Canal. And they engaged me to help them get involved with both the transportation and the port issues, trying to get the ports and departments of transportation in the Gulf Coast and the East Coast to parallel similar kinds of modeling. And these are scenario-based planning modeling, if this, then that, simulation kinds of things. So yeah, that's one of the areas that is a technology software involvement that I'm working with. Another one is a company called DI Central. I think you've had them on the show, that do warehouse management and electronic data interchange software packaging for the basically supply chain management. Still some retail, some what is called retail actually by people outside the industry, from the point of view of real estate, as well as actual retail distribution of product.
You have your hand in a lot of things in the pulse of Houston and beyond. And when we think about the Panama Canal, one of the first things I think about is that we are one of the most unique cities, if not the most, on the planet, in that we have so many key drivers, economic drivers. And people often think, certainly the space program, who else has that? And Panama, as we're influenced by the Panama Canal and so many other things. It's really a fascinating city.
People have a wonderful saying, at least the Greater Houston Partnership likes to use it, that this is the town that built the port that built the city.
There you go.
Which is absolutely correct, because so many people, because it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and people don't drive down there. It is the first largest port in the United States for exports, second for overall in tonnage. And actually, just to put in a plug, basically we need to protect all of that by having all of your listeners write into their legislators and congressmen about supporting the what's called the Ike Dike, the spine, which is a surge suppression spine that has been promoted. Texas A&M University Galveston has done all of the research with the people from the Netherlands who know a little bit about dikes, needless to say, and it's called the Ike Dike. But we really need to get that built before the next hurricane comes. We missed with Ike a very, very close margin of what could have done devastating work on our ship channel, not just the industries, but the people, not just Galveston, but all up and down. Huge percentage of gasoline all over the United States comes from here. Huge percentage of jet fuel nationally as well as defense. Anyway, it's very important and needs to be looked at and needs to be supported. So you read things about, the cost or the this or the that. Trust me, there's a lot of disinformation. One of the things that I have found interesting over my career, especially in consulting, is that there are three kinds of data. There's information, there's misinformation, and there's disinformation. Disinformation being intentional, not necessarily malicious, but definitely one-sided to try and make their case. Remember, it always depends on whose ox is getting gored. If it's your ox, then you're a little concerned about it. If it's somebody else's, they say, we don't care. Well, Houston's got a lot of oxes that can be gored. I mean, we as you mentioned, the Space Center, we're the largest medical center in the world, the port, and, of course, the energy capital of the world. So we've got a lot of things going for us here. But we absolutely have to protect that.
Exactly. That's what I was going to, that word came to mind. We have something very, very special and have for many, many years. So we must protect that. Let's tell people the kind of person that would reach out to your company for your consulting services.
Thanks. Hazak basically goes from multi-industry and multinational company, startups to billion-dollar companies. So I'm called in to just help people develop their company to the next level. And basically, sometimes it's executives who can't figure exactly what to do with their structure. Sometimes they're very siloed, as a lot of the agencies, state agencies, et cetera, are. And corporations are that way too. They don't like to cross over. They don't like to step on each other's toes. So sometimes it takes an outsider to come in and do the analysis, such as, for instance, I had done with IKEA. They had asked me when they said, what do we do with this store? This was in the mid-'90s. What do we do with this store? Include it and close it. So I did an entire restructuring and have a wonderful letter from them that it was, when they first retained me, it was 20th out of 20 stores in the United States. And then after following and doing the recommendations, it was outperforming 17 of 20 stores. Of course, the retail industry, speaking of people, I get calls from people remembering my retail experience, and I've had a lot of consulting in that, and real estate development as well. I've worked with Highland Village and Town and Country Mall and a number of others, the Mills Corporation. So it's a very general consulting practice. It's just a lot of people looking out and saying, I need someone who's had a lot of experience in other judgment factors. I was on Continental Airlines board for 15 years. I've been on a number of bank boards, 3 different bank boards. Was on the Federal Reserve Bank of the Houston branch of the Dallas Fed, actually during its worst period, 83 to 85, and chaired it in 85. So people who are looking for management, financial, marketing, strategic steps. Where do I go from here? How can I help this company go to the next step? They call me.
And Robert, let's tell them how they can reach out to you.
They can reach out to me at 713-823-1183, which is my telephone. R. Sakowitz, so it's RSAKOWITZ at Hazak, HAZAK.com. Or look on my website, and it'll also tell you.
The phone number again, Robert?
713-823-1183.
And also, from as you see Houston is growing like crazy, what's your perspective on the real estate? Let's say residential real estate. We see so much, especially stores and retail operations. The internet has really taken shape, but it looks like things are being built
residential
all the time.
Real estate only relatively recently has gone vertical. For so many years, I'll never forget my friend John Daugherty telling me that residential goes in this order. Single-family dwellings is number one. They sell the fastest. Number 2, houses that are sort of freestanding, they're bungalows, so to speak. Number 3 is townhouses. And number 4 is condos. Well, that doesn't happen anymore, and he has even said that. We have a huge market for condos because we have so many new people coming in. We have such a diversity. Even the New York Times admits that Houston is the most diverse city in the country. For that reason, I think there's been a greater acceptance, people coming from where they're coming from for condos. Retail, everyone keeps making references to the fact that the retail industry, the department store, is going the way of the dinosaur. That's really an absolute misstatement. The point is that real estate for retail in Houston is very spread out. And because of residential, retail follows where people move. And basically, it services them. So we have, with 730 square miles, we have an awful lot of space for retail. So people built a lot and continue to build a lot to follow those new communities. So Houston is not quite the same situation as the rest of the country to that degree because it's still growing. But retail sales, yes, there's many more over the internet. I remember in the year 2000 at the National Retail Federation when they first talked about this thing called web sales. Literally, it was just making its appearance in 2000.
Fascinating. Just to think about that's exciting.
Yeah, but remember, that's 17 years ago.
I know.
And
I
so
love that.
today, the point is that during that time, so many retail organizations, department stores, overbuilt. Malls get built the same way as other construction, and that is, as long as there's cheap money, guys can borrow and build and believe if I build it, they will come. Well, in point of fact, at some point in time, that obsolesces the older guy who's been there for a long time and who hasn't had the money to keep up his operation, make it refreshed, and those are the guys who are getting hurt. Many of the older stores that really don't have an audience anymore. It's not just the internet. It is basically an overabundance of brick and mortar that isn't really having a following.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert, let's tell people how they can reach out to you again.
Again, Hazak.com, Robert Sakowitz, RSAKOWITZ, at Hazak.com. RT Sakowitz at Gmail also gets to me personally, or 713-823-1183.
And that's 713-823-1183. The one and only Robert Sakowitz. He's coming back later in the show. Thank you so much. You're listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Bill Napick, stay with us. We're coming right back.
Stewart Title has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stewart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stewart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stewart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stewart Title, online at Stewart.com. That's STEWART.com.
And welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. And now, there's a publication called Absolutely Memorial, and we have the Chief Operating Officer and girl boss from Absolutely Memorial. Her name is Lara Bell. Lara, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Oh my gosh, you walk in here and you can't help but smile.
That's right.
You make us smile.
Well, thank you so much for that. But I love the cover because that is exactly what the cover says. It says girl bosses.
Girl bosses. And yes, that's what we are. That's the July issue. We did do a story on girl bosses. And I was joking with my friend Roseann Rogers, who is in the studio.
Here,
yeah,
yes.
She's in the studio. But we were laughing. She was like, "You are a girl boss now." And I'm like, I never really thought about it, but I am a girl boss now since I just bought the magazine a couple months ago. It's kind of crazy.
Well, let's tell people, first of all,
Okay.
before you bought the magazine, give us an idea of your background and the adventure to buying the magazine.
I started at KTBU Television. I was there on air for 14 years. And so that's Channel 55. Joel Osteen actually owned the station in the very beginning.
Wow.
He's the one that hired me, and I was hired to do our originally our community affairs show, and then it transitioned into a weekly entertainment show called Wild About Houston. And so I was there for 14 years. And when my kids, I was always under the impression that once your kids start elementary school, your job as a parent is kind of done. You're like out. No. It was quite the
Maybe
opposite.
not.
Yeah, maybe not. So I'll never forget, it was in 2011. Dylan, my little girl, was in 3rd grade. Brooks was in kindergarten. So I was getting him to school, and I literally was like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot keep up the hectic pace of a weekly TV show. I had been writing for this little magazine called Absolutely Memorial for, I don't know, probably 7 years. And the owners were paying me $100 a month to write this little column. So I went to the owners and I said, listen, I'm really considering leaving television because I can't keep up the pace. I said, but I can't live off $100 an hour, a month. My husband will kill me. It just isn't going to work.
You need
I need a little bit more
money there.
Yeah.
Right,
I was
right.
like, is there any room for growth for me? And they were like, absolutely. So I gave my notice, for a month out, and I left the station, and I started. They hired me as editor of the magazine, and I live in Memorial. My kids go to school in Memorial. I'm raising my family. I walk my dog. So I thought it was a perfect fit. Literally 2 weeks after I left the station, the owner came to me and said, I've got some bad news. I sold the magazine. They were like, but you're okay. You still have a job. The new owners like you and da-da-da. So anyways, that was 5 years ago, and I've been wanting to buy it. So eventually I bought it in April. So I'm excited.
It's really
It's all mine.
fresh and new. And
It's
in
all
fact,
new now.
being
Yes.
in any kind of entertainment, I think, has a fun element, and it certainly looks that way to others. But also, you're entertaining with a magazine as well, so you're bringing
It's the same thing.
new life to it, and it sounds very exciting.
The only thing before, like in television, I was, promoting and talking about things all over the city. Now it's just a neighborhood. It's just the area of Memorial. We go into 30,000 households monthly mail. It's just a fun. I care so much about it. I'm so passionate about it because I live there, and so I want, it's fun to see the people and the businesses and the kids, and it's just so I'm doing exactly what I was doing. It's just a lot more niche now.
And you're so connected to the community, so
I
you're
am.
probably seeing things in Memorial that you didn't see before
For
that
sure.
are very exciting, and then you could tell, and that's how you, I guess, figure out what's going to be on the cover. So, for
Absolutely.
example, I think part of the fun of a publisher like yourself is that you get to do the cover, and
It
the
is
cover's
fun.
the first thing. That's that first impression, right?
It's first impression, always.
So-
It's first impression.
As July is Girl Bosses, do you already know? And don't tell us, but if you do you already know what August?
Absolutely. In fact, we
How
were
far
looking,
out do you go?
My cute little intern came with me today, Kate, and I was showing her a mock-up of the August cover
So you already have
today
a feel.
and September. And I can tell you this,
So you go.
as starting in September, I'm going to be I'm going to give you a little secret, which I have not told very many people.
Well, we love that.
You like secrets, don't
Yes,
you?
we do.
Okay, you got an exclusive here, okay?
Okay, let's go.
We are actually changing the name of the magazine.
Really?
We are changing the
To-
name. I can't say that yet.
okay.
I can't go that exclusive, Bill.
Okay, all right.
Maybe
all
you can have me back when,
right. We can do that, sure.
But we are changing the name, and the September issue is when the new name will launch. But, for a while, it's obviously going to say formerly Absolutely Memorial. So people know it's still the same magazine. It's just a different name.
Okay, so automatically people in Memorial are getting the magazine, I
Absolutely.
would think, right? And also, what about the businesses? Like we have our Stewart title in Memorial.
We
saw
go
a
into
few-
9,000 businesses in Memorial.
Oh, my.
A lot.
So
Yes.
now let's say someone's outside listening and they say, I want to see this magazine, and they're not in Memorial. Let's say they're in the Woodlands, for example. What do they do?
Well, they can go online to absolutelymemorial.com. I mean, we're digital too. And as I get my teeth, grinding and get everything going, we're going to be revamping the website, obviously. We're going to do a lot more daily stuff too, because I think, first of all, I don't think this, I know this. Niche magazines are never going to go anywhere. I mean, people always say print is dead. Not with niche magazines. With niche magazines, people like seeing their kids.
I like to hold a magazine.
They like to hold it.
It gets
they
more
like
personal.
Doctors' offices and nail salons, they like setting them out. What I do want to start doing eventually, like let's say the Memorial Mustangs win a football game in the fall. And let's say an ice cream store wants to give away 50-cent ice creams because they win. I need a place to like shoot that out there to everybody. So we will be doing a lot more e-blasting and digital newsletters and stuff like that.
And we are talking with Lara Bell. The magazine is absolutely Memorial, and the name is going to change, but we'll be staying tuned for that in September, right?
Yes, in September.
Also, how do you choose the articles that are in the magazine? As I flip through this July issue, I'm holding it up to our YouTube camera right now. I see people that I know, and that's so cool. Just the idea of seeing people you know on the cover of a magazine or part of the article. And then sometimes you say, hey, what to see yourself on it has to be fun, too.
Well, how I typically choose how I'm going to do a cover story is I choose a lot of nonprofits. I put a lot of nonprofits on from the Memorial area or executive directors because I feel it's really important to promote charity. What we're going to be seeing a lot of once I make the change in September is a lot less people and a lot more, I don't know, design, graphics, just fun stuff like that. So I don't sell the covers. You cannot call me and offer me a lot of money because I will turn you down. I won't sell a cover because it's all what I believe in. It's promoting and what I believe in.
Exactly. And also, like on the cover, it says House Sitting 101 Staycations. That's a very relevant thing right now. A lot of people don't want to go out in the traffic. I want to stay, especially if you have a pool, just relax at the house. Staycation, so you have something about that.
Everybody who writes for me and everybody who works for me actually lives in Memorial. That's what kind of separates us from some of the other community magazines. It's truly local. I mean, it's truly a community local magazine. I'm not going to have somebody living in Katy or Sugarland, writing for me, or I'm not going to cover somebody in Sugarland or Katy when this is about Memorial, and I'm very strict about that.
That sounds fascinating. Give us an idea of some of the other things that you're thinking about, Lara, as far as the future, because it is very exciting. I know you're passionate about it. What are the other things that you're seeing unfold, say, at the end of 2017? I'm just guessing.
Oh, you guessed right.
I think you're thinking already about 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Guessing.
You're guessing right. You're guessing right. One thing that we are for sure going to do next May for the Mother's Day issue is we want to do a big event, a big Mother's Day event. So we are going to be doing a lot more events. We're going to eventually be doing more cover parties. So let's just say you were on the cover sometime, Bill.
Let's
just say that.
I hope it's a good hair day. That's all I say.
Well, folks just have to go to his YouTube site to see.
Just to get the magnitude of that.
Just to get it. So we'll be doing like launch parties, cover launch parties and stuff like that. So
and also, it looks like the columns are fun as well because we see our friend here from Pet Talk magazine, Michelle Manter, who's been on the show several times. You have some great
She
columnists.
lives in Memorial, and we do a column called Noteworthy Neighbors, where we highlight a Memorial resident who is doing good in the community. And this month, we highlighted Michelle Mantor, who owns Pet Talk magazine. She's so big into all the pet charities. And again, she lives in Memorial, and her daughter and son went to Stratford High School. So she was a perfect candidate for this column.
Well, we all love to help dogs and other worthy causes, but you mentioned you had a dog. And what is that little dog or big dog's name?
Oh, gosh. I've got Outback, who's my crazy Labradoodle. He's an Australian Labradoodle, and he's crazy. And I love him, but he's crazy. And then we've got the cutest little cockapoo, Ginger, who's she's a little nippy. Like she's
a little nippy,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
She's old and she's going blind. And
oh no.
Yeah.
Well, the fascinating thing about dogs, it's like children. Each one is different with
you love them.
personalities.
You love them no matter what.
Exactly.
But yes, they're very different.
And I like the idea of helping, whether it's pets or other things, because that you have an eye and a passion for that as well. That is so important because, quite frankly, we look around the world and we're all happy in here, having a good time, and many people are. And there's a lot of stuff we need to be lifted up sometimes, and we also need to be aware of those that need help. I think that's great work just to keep things right for all of us.
That's what we dedicate one page a month in the magazine to a specific person who just is doing good.
And Lara, if people want to know more or reach out to you, what should they do?
Well, they can always call me at 713-907-6967, or they can go and email me, Lara@swoon.media.
I emailed you, and I love that email address.
Thank
the
you.
swoon part was my favorite.
I know.
Good idea there.
Maybe that'll give you a little clue as to something.
And what's the phone number again, Lara?
713-907-6967.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Lara Bell, absolutely Lara, and Absolutely Memorial. Stay with us. You're listening to Real Estate Matter. Go to Absolutely Memorial. Check the digital edition if you're out in the Woodlands or in Dana Point, California. We're coming right back with even more. Thank you, Lara.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. And now we're going to talk to celebrity chef Monica Pope. And we're being joined by the one and only Roseann Rogers with Stewart Title. Monica, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We love to talk about food anywhere, but especially on this radio show, food, real estate, all those things. Let's tell people what you do.
Well, food is the intersection of, I think, everything that everybody does here. And
It brings everybody
and
together.
I bring everybody together at one table and serve them awesome food. Local food is what I am known for in Houston, Texas.
Very nice.
Local.
The first thing that, when I heard you're going to be on the show, the first thing that stood out is you have an easy name to remember. So people can really, that's part of the brand, Monica Pope, right?
It has become part of the brand, yes. Jeff.
Well, tell people, first of all, with food is something that brings people together from business standpoints and family, everything else. But where did you, in your background, when did you first get excited about food and realize that was going to be the profession for you?
Yeah, that's interesting. That was I grew up in Memorial, by the way, and I understood that my what was very important to my family were this package that we would get from my grandmother, and these family food traditions were Czech. And at 17, a swimmer friend asked me. We went to Memorial together, and she said, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "I'm going to open a restaurant and change the way Houston eats." But it's been through the sort of family food traditions and farming. My mom's parents were farmers, and it all just connects, and then just bringing people to the table.
You're right. It all connects.
That was back in the day when we actually ate at a table,
Oh,
at a
that's
dining
right.
room table as a family, but that all changed, right?
Indeed, but also that mission statement of changing the way people eat. That's kind of, that's ambitious, but it also seems like it helped guide you.
That single, vision helped guide me, and that friend I still see to this day, and she's like, "You did it." So it took 38 years of my life at that point when I made that decision to figure out what that even looked like, and and the world keeps changing. So,
and also, let's tell people some of the food establishments you've been involved with, and
Ooh, God, all
before
of them?
all of them. But before that, just as far as just food in general, give us an idea. Say 2 of your favorite dishes when you want to sit down and eat. Give it just a couple things that really get you excited as far as on the plate.
right now, it's what became very important to my family, or what they love, which is the bolognese. And it sounds like, kind of a mundane Italian thing, but it's these we make these really creamy, eggy noodles that we just cut, like scatter cut, and then bolognese, just any kind of local great meat, could be anything, could be venison, beef, pork, down and down and down, and it's just amazing and nourishing and satiating and just fantastic.
And then what about
All
on
local.
a seafood idea? What would be
Seafood,
exciting for you in the seafood world?
Well, we're known for this awesome scallops with chermoula, but it can be with any great local Gulf fish. I'm known for global, I guess what people were trying to figure out, I call it global comfort food with local ingredients. So I have a lot of global influences with my travels, with just my connection to, like, the city is so culturally diverse, and so all my life I'm sort of responding to just my own background, and then all these people that I've connected with in Houston and have fed for 25 years with about 9 different restaurants.
And that's a worthy cause, right, Roseann?
It is. And she said what she's known for. She is really known for her vegetables. Let me just tell you. No one can cook
He didn't ask.
Brussels sprouts like you, babe.
Thank
I'm
you.
telling you, I will pick them up. I mean,
Even though
nobody.
people say somebody else's Brussels sprouts are better,
I don't think so.
I disagree too.
I disagree. Your Brussels sprouts are the best, because the farm to table thing she takes to a whole new level. And with her vegetables, like, I even remember we did a Sunday supper with John Doherty Realtors, and Sunday suppers is something that Monica can go more in depth with. She started in her backyard, which was such a cool concept. But to tell you about Brussels sprouts and vegetables, there we had like a Friendsgiving instead of a Thanksgiving. It was Friendsgiving, so anybody could bring their kids that were older to be able to be a part of this Sunday supper in an outdoor setting, a communal dinner. My son went to the buffet line 3 times, okay? And people kept seeing, because he was a child, like, well, he was 9, 10 at the time. Oh, honey, you can go ahead. You can go ahead. I'm like, and then I finally was like, how many times has he been up here? And Monica's like, I think 3 times. And he was just like, this salmon is so good, and those Brussels sprouts, I can't get enough of them. I mean, and that's a testament of her true, like, she can convert anybody. If you don't think you like a vegetable, Monica will convert you.
These are
That sounds good to me.
these are the pop-up suppers, which she's talking about, and is what I still do. There's 3 things I still do without this Bricks and Sticks restaurant, other than Beavers, which I'm not based at, but it's an awesome concept that we've had for 10 years. But I do interactive cooking classes with kids, with families, with people, with companies, all this stuff, and I love to see that light bulb go off when a kid's cooking cauliflower and says, "That's really good." Like,
I never said that as a kid. Just saying.
Yeah, well,
but I can be converted.
and I see everybody converted and realize that really good local food, all of it.
Well-
What we think of as vegetables, but I mean it's all local, amazing food.
And it makes it sound like the way it is, really, because when something's fresh and a good quality produce, vegetable, whatever, if it's presented properly and in the hands of a master chef, it can be very, very good.
Absolutely.
Well, that's smart. Well, I mean, I think what's great about Monica is that you've done it. You've been involved in 9 different restaurants here in Houston. You were also on a reality show, but I think that I still feel like you're here, you're who you are, and you're just a great person. And I think that you still, although you've had all this great success, you're still very humble, and you still do what your foundation is doing great things, for giving people great food. And you feel like you answer your own phone, you do great things. And I do think the things that you're doing now, the pop-up dinners, you don't just do them here in Houston, which is great. And I still want to go to one, because you do Round Top.
I go anywhere anybody wants me to come and pop up. So Fulshire Run, Columbus, Texas, Round Top, Texas. I've popped up in Austin, anywhere. Yeah,
So,
in your backyard.
That term pop-up dinner, let's tell people what that is in case they don't know.
I know they don't understand, although over the restaurant business has changed a lot since I've had restaurants 25 years. And so sometimes when a chef, I think where it kind of started, we would do pop-up events at my restaurants with other chefs being highlighted.
Like
So,
special occasions.
well, but just giving them their platform, So when I opted out of the traditional restaurant, because I had started these things that were just amazing to be involved in, these pop-ups. I literally pop up farmhouse tables, Belgium bases for those tables, and beer garden benches that are vintage, pop them up in a field, and I can have a restaurant that seats 80 people at one table and feed them.
That sounds great. And
field.
it also sounds like it
But you're-
brings an extra element of fun to it.
Well, it's an extra element of experience, this transformative experience, and this very communal experience. And you're in the field often, where the food is produced, and who produces it, who's raising the cattle, or who's fishing the trout, or making the cheese, or anyway. I've just done it anywhere, and it again, I like to see the light bulb go off.
And there truly are experiences. It's
Yeah.
about food. It's about being together, but being in a different
For
surrounding.
John Dougherty, people wanted to come to my pop-up, but they also wanted to see the house. They wanted to see the house or the backyard, or yes, it's a combination of a lot of things. That's what I do with Doug at Fulshire Run, where it's this beautiful 250-acre property that's going to be developed, and we just plop ourselves down in different fields on this property and give people the experience of what it would be like to be there and have neighbors. And
So if
and
someone's
eat.
interested in having a pop-up dinner, what should they do? Should they reach out to you?
Yeah, they just reach out to me. SperryHouston.com will get to me, or Monica at MonicaPopeHouston.com, or call me at 713, or text me actually.
Text her.
713-875-7496.
And they could have a pop-up event wherever they want.
Wherever and for whatever they want.
And that's 713-875-7496.
I think so.
There you go. Or Sparrow Houston.
Sperry Houston will eventually get to me. But Monica Pope Houston.
And her experiences are like no other. And another here we go, another exclusive. Stewart Title is going to be doing something with Monica.
Oh, is that
coming up.
right?
Yes, she is.
Will I be
We're very
invited?
excited. Yes, you do have an
Yay.
invitation because we're
I
on the same team.
I got that. There you go. Girl bosses. There's a theme
There you
here.
go.
That sounds great. What else should people know, Monica? 713-875-7496. Besides that.
Besides that. Well, everybody wants to know what I'm like, if I'm still alive and what I'm doing.
You are.
And I am, and I'm very happy, and I'm writing a memoir called Eating Hope. And I'm doing these 3 awesome things that people want to go, well, where can we have your food
Exactly.
still? Well, come to a pop-up, or have one, and come to a cooking class, or make one. And the other thing I do is Food is Medicine, which is awesome, with Allie Miller. You'll see that on the website. Those are awesome dinners focused on different issues that we might have medically, that we try to use food as medicine.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, Monica Pope at 713-875-7496 or Sparrow Houston. Thank you, Monica. We're going to take a short break and come right back with even more. Stay with us.
If you've been in the real estate industry for any length of time, you know unexpected and costly events can happen. Safeguard yourself against the unexpected with Real Estate Errors and Omissions Insurance, or E&O, through Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Not all E&O insurance policies are created equal. How confident are you that your current E&O policy fully protects you? Stewart Insurance and Risk Management offers expertise in the real estate industry and tailors your coverage to correctly manage your risk. With Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, facing the unexpected just became a lot easier. Safeguard your future with real estate E&O insurance through Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Call today at 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com to request tailored insurance options for you and your business.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I said it at the beginning of the show. We're brought to you every week by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. You can go to Stewart.com. And when I say insurance, I'm talking about the pillars of everyday insurance. Home, auto, umbrella policies. If you're in the real estate profession, broker, E&O, all kinds of insurance. It's simple. Just go to Stewart.com. Look at the very first page of our website. You can see the full menu with both personal and commercial insurance. Stewart.com. They're there to help you. Of course, Stewart Title, we're in business over 124 years with title insurance, but a lot of people forget that we have, again, those pillars of everyday insurance for your car, for your home. Go to Stewart.com, and oh yeah, you can give them a call and actually talk to someone right away at 866-845-4676. 866-845-4676. You won't go through a lot of voice prompts. They'll get to you right away, Monday through Friday. You may get a better rate, but certainly you'll get great service at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. They're there to serve you, led by Tom Carpentier, leading the company in a magnificent way 24/7, even when he sleeps. And now, go to Stewart.com. And now he is back. Speaking of leading in a magnificent way, Mr. Robert Sakowitz joins us again. Robert, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Nice to be back, Bill.
You do lead things in a magnificent way for so many years, and your tentacles have touched so many industries, certainly here in Houston and beyond. What else should people know, Robert?
Well, Hazak works with a lot of technology companies today and works with, since all of the innovation today is technology, it reminds me, you're talking about Stewart Title. I remember when Mako Stewart, who was a good friend of mine, wanted to start Stewart Information Services.
How about that?
And that was because he thought the technology for title companies was the way of the future. One of my involvements, and you've had a bunch of scoops today, so here's another one
Let's
for
go.
you.
Yes, yay.
One of my other involvements recently is with a company that is involved with legal digital documents, and it's called Documents Forever, which is for mortgage company. We're up in the National Notary Association convention in Dallas, a 3-day thing, listening to all the things that are involved with legal documents, both domestically as well as abroad, and the need for so many digital and digitized documents to be protected in the cloud. So this is a company that is basically a startup that is working with the legal digital documents that are needed, like wills and audit trail, being able to follow with control chain of custody, that mortgage companies and notaries, and especially the new level of notaries started by Dodd-Frank, which is the signing agents, will need in order to be able to make sure that they are legal documents acceptable by a judge. And it's something a lot of mortgage companies came up and talked to us about. But let me just leave you with shifting gears. You had asked, what else did I want to leave with your listeners? Last year, I was asked to give the commencement address at Texas A&M University Galveston, and the focus of those remarks were 3 words for people to remember: risk, relationships, and resolve. Basically, no business can survive without taking calculated risks, and it was a whole series of stories about that. Relationships, I have found doing business all over the world that culture eats data and strategy for breakfast every morning, to paraphrase Peter Drucker. And resolve, if you don't have fire in your belly and you don't have dedication, you're not going to get there. And once you do have it, never give up.
Very important words for us all to live by and to prosper and do well in this life, no doubt about it. Also, Robert, as we think about the future, let's just take a glimpse a bit at the past, because there's so many people. We think about the thousands that move here every week and month to Houston, Texas. They love it. It's really a fascinating city, no doubt. But also, we're used to it here in 2017. It is busier than ever. The roads, oh my goodness. But let's just tell people just a quick word about, let's just take Westheimer and Post Oak and go back 40 years, because it's fun to look back as we look ahead.
Well,
paint a picture, Robert.
The picture is a cow pasture. 610 had not been built. My father and I sat on the corner of Post Oak and Westheimer and counted the cars.
I love that. I could
and
see
that
that
is
picture.
basically
What a visual.
the marketing study of the day. Everyone said when we announced that we were going to go to the northwest corner of Post Oak and Westheimer, listen, you got to be very, very careful. You're going to lose your shirts out there. There's nobody out there. But Tanglewood was being built. Houston was growing extremely rapidly. So we hopscotched Buffalo Speedway and Shepherd and went further out to where we thought the new buildings were going to be.
And if you could even speculate, let's
That
say...
was 1959.
1959.
When we opened, actually. And the gallery opened 10 years later.
Fascinating picture. But if you were to speculate 20 years from now, what's that corner going to look like? Can we even
Vertical.
guess?
It's just going to, there's
Flying
going to be
cars?
much more.
The Jetsons.
I love that. Could be. I mean, certainly with all the things that are out there, it's going to continue to be more intense, more dense. High rises are being built all the time. And of course, the only thing that will limit it is transportation accessibility, which will be the challenge.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Sakowitz. Robert, tell people how they can reach you one more time.
R. Sakowitz at Hazak, RSAKOWITZ at HAZAK.com, or call 713-823-1183 and text me as well.
There you go. Text Robert at 713-823-1183. Lara Bell is right here. Lara, welcome back.
Thank you. You know, it was interesting listening to Robert about, real estate and growth, because when we moved to Houston, I was 6 years old. And when we first rolled into town, it was my mom, my brother, and I. My mom and dad had just gotten divorced, and we just moved to Texas. And we lived in a little apartment on the corner of Eldridge and Memorial called Turkey Creek Apartments. And they were just these little apartments. And, of course, now they're, skyscrapers where it's the heart of the energy corridor. But it's interesting to look back because
it's fun, yeah.
It is fun, and then who would have thought that this little 6-year-old moving, would end up becoming the publisher of a magazine from the same area of town that we first moved to.
Where did you move from?
Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. I was 6 years old. It was just... I'm a Texan. I mean, that's just it. I'm a Texan. I mean, I count myself as a Texan. So, but it's interesting just to see even the growth of Memorial now with Metro National and Midway. Hotel Zaza's opening up there in a couple months.
Is it that soon?
Yes. It's so exciting. I'm in Bunker Hill, so that's where I live. So my kids go to Bunker Hill and Memorial. And so it's kind of just interesting seeing the growth. And it's exciting to know what's going to come next.
It will be very interesting. And again, the publication is absolutely Memorial. Get the issue. It is Girl Bosses, and it's the July Fun Edition. And there's more fun editions coming around very soon, right, Lara?
For sure, for sure.
And how can they look at the digital if they're outside?
They can go to
the zone?
absolutelymemorial.com. That's the digital issue. Or they can, and of course, we love our advertisers. If you'd like to advertise, feel free to call me or email me. You can call me at 713-907-6967. We're a community magazine. It takes the community support to keep this going.
Very nice, ladies and gentlemen. Lara Bell, and now with a name that's so easy. We had such great names on the show, right, Roseann? Rosann's over there. And now Monica Pope. Monica, what else should people know?
Oh, my God. I'm just happy to be sitting in the middle of all this historical Houston stuff. I'm like called the grandma of, the local food scene. But I don't know what you are, man.
Now, those that are listening, this is not TV,
and
but
call you great, anything. But
it's pointing to Robert Sakowitz, just for those listening.
No, it's fascinating. I mean, that's like we just love Houston. I think that's great.
But,
we're all here just doing what we do, and it's amazing. This is what I get to do, having these great classes and pop-ups, and I get to meet the community, and people get to see each other again. This town is really small.
It really is.
Really
it's
is
big,
small.
But it's small.
I mean,
there's no question about it.
I tell the world like we are, one of the largest cities, most diverse, culturally, artistically, great, artists. It's like, but it really is a small town.
Really is small. There's nowhere to hide.
And I feel like
sometimes
I feel like I'm the mayor, and
That's your mayor of Food Town, Houston, Texas. There's no question about it, right, Robert?
Absolutely. And when the New York Times actually says that it's the most diverse
Yep.
food and best restaurants in the
Yep.
country. Yes, that's finally nice.
No doubt.
One of the things, speaking of New York and the East Coast, though, the big difference about the city, Monica, is that on the East Coast, you come up with a new idea and they'll say, yeah, someone tried that about 10 years ago and it's not going to work. It didn't work then, it's not going to work again. Houston, you tell them that and they'll say, well, it may not have worked before, but let me show you why I think it'll work now.
That's
or
it.
how we can do
Yep.
it. It's a can-do city, and it's almost a cliche, but it really is a city that is both welcoming and also, yes, we can do this.
We're special.
We
We
are.
are.
Very
We're a special city.
We really are. And Monica, let me ask you this. As far as food, we talked about vegetables, but what about, let's just tell people there's a lot of backyard grilling going on. Give us a quick word.
Oh my God.
30 seconds of how to do a great steak.
Why? Why do we always? Okay.
A great steak.
Buy a really great piece of local
All right,
grass-fed
that's step
There
one.
you
We
go.
got that.
meat and salt and sear very, very high and
Searing's
and
important,
let it
right?
rest and
Let it rest.
let it rest. Let all the juices get back in. And I mean, not joking. It has to be local, grass-fed,
Grass-fed.
humanely, sustainably. Everything. This stuff is crazy. I mean, that you will taste.
You'll taste the difference.
Well, somebody made the comment about it's felt flavor, not just fat. You know, there's fat, but you actually feel the nutritional density, the flavor, the fat. It's amazing. So
and the phone
cook
number,
that
Monica?
steak.
How
Mine?
they're going to text you at what
They're
number?
going to text me all the directions again. Recipe. I'm going to have to send recipes. 713-875-7496.
And going forth, another word with Robert. He says risk, relationships, and resolve. There's the key to success right there. I love
sure.
those three words, right, Lara?
It's perfect.
And the show, yeah, it's ending now at the time of broadcast, but you know what? It never really ends because it's just like Netflix, but different. This is Real Estate Matters On Demand. You can hear it anytime you want on the YouTube channel, Bill Nampick Radio Shows, or Stewart.com/Houston. Again, that's Stewart.com/Houston anytime you want. The full archive of 38, 39 shows. That's a lot of shows, a lot of great information for you to use and to be entertained and to even be inspired. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you, Robert Sakowitz, Lara Bell, Monica Pope, Roseann Rogers, and the great interns.
Kate Wertheimer.
There you go. The great intern. And until next week, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We'll see you next week. And thank you, Sigmund Kramer. Till then.